Okay, welcome back to Bucks County, Pennsylvania, Farm Simulator 22. So today we have a couple tasks ahead of us. We have the front door here. So it is now the end of July. Um, Summer is beginning to come to a close. Um, as you can see here, we got ourselves a landscaping trailer. Went ahead and borrowed this trailer from a friend. He's out on vacation this week, so he said that I could borrow the trailer and his mower to go up and fix that property up. I've already got our skid steer loaded on with a log fork that I had to rent and our stump grinder. So this thing is all ready to go. We're all loaded down. Did that this morning. But we have some other tasks ahead of us first, so we're going to jump in the Chevy and we're gonna run on down to the farm here because we have to bring some of our cattle to market today. They're finally old enough, or well, the heifers have given birth, so now I gotta sell them and the bulls. So we got to get rid of the bulls. I think we have two of them right now in the pastures. So, and that's just with our Angus cows. We also have some other cows that we have to sell. So we're gonna go ahead and hook up to the cattle trailer. Oh, terrible lineup. Right on the money. Wow, I couldn't have done that again. Now for the really tricky part. All right, so we'll start with the Angus cows. It's all of these need to go move to trailer. We can fit one more. How many bulls do I have? I have one, so we'll take one of the bulls with us. And then we'll have to come back and we're gonna take these and this bull next. So that should help our feed problem. So you know how last video I fed them? Actually, no, I don't think I did that on camera. I think I did that off camera for that video. But as you can see, I filled their feed all the way up and they're already down half within a month. So that's a pretty big problem. The other problem we have here is our milk is getting very, very high and our production is not getting very low. So um, that's another thing we might get done today if I have time. Probably gonna doing it off camera though. Production desperately needs to be picked up. I don't know if you saw the storage values in there, but we are storing a lot of products. A couple other things to catch you guys up over there. You might see it. The wall of tires there. That is our truck that we pulled out of the barn last video. So I've got it shoved back in by the pond. Just sitting there until I can actually get it hauled to an actual diesel shop and figure out what's wrong with it. You may be asking, well, what'd you do with the tank? It's right there. So, you know, I said my buddy is landscaping and I borrowed his trailer, right? So he came down and did this for us. Got us a front gate now. We've got a rock formation. We managed to get the tank on the rock formation with about 2 days of struggling to get it up there. That was very difficult. Got new fencing. It goes down so it doesn't interrupt the field. It ends right at this tree. So we can still get in and out of this field to the road because the entrance is right there. And then the other fence goes all the way down to our neighbor's property. So this is actually about where our property is. This is where our other neighbor has their property. It's our house. I'm thinking about continuing the fence back and actually like fencing off their property. But I'm not really too stressed about it. Not really concerned about anyone really breaking in because, I mean, with the exception of some of the trailers and that truck, everything is kept in a log barn. So let's get on the road down to the animal market. Taking these to auction. So I haven't made any new purchases other than that, really. So I think it only ran us about 20 grand. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not used to this trailer's very weird. What was I gonna say? There is a grain trailer on sale right now, and I'm trying to decide whether or not to drop the money on it. It's not very cheap. I think it's still about 50 grand. But we've been saying for the past couple of years now that if a grain trailer does show up on sale and we have a little bit of spare money, to buy it, or even take a loan to buy it, because we rent a grain trailer twice a year. It costs us about somewhere between 2 to 4 grand. I think it's closer to 4 grand each time. And when you have a profit margin of like, so per year, I say we probably put about 10 grand per tractor into maintenance. So that's 30 grand off of our maintenance. We made $140,000 worth of money off of our soybeans. So we'll go just off of soybean, not out of anything else. So $140,000. So minus 30 for maintenance. Oh, just ran over a deer. Fertilizer, seed costs, they're probably around 5 grand because you don't really need to fertilize soybean. You just need to make sure that the pH is all right. So we'll put around 5 grand for our seed and lime costs. And then fuel, I'm not even going to take into consideration because we have a big fuel tank, and if we just maybe spend about $2,000 in fuel a year on everything. Surprisingly, we don't go through that much fuel. I feel like we should go through more fuel. I thought this was the way into the livestock market. Apparently not. It's been a few months since I've been here, so. I've lost my train of thought trying to find the entrance to this place. Can I get through this way? No. Let's go ahead and turn around. I'm trying to remember English. God damn. 30. So 40,000. It's $100,000, and then adding that on everything else, like the other stuff that we purchased for the cows, like we buy all other types of stuff. It gets to be a pretty tight profit margin. Go ahead and hook to the back of the trailer here. Apparently I'm not in the zone all the way, so we'll back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Back up a little. No. What's it want? Oh, there it goes. Okay. So we are going to sell the bull. Nice, $30,000 off the first row of the cows. So we might actually be able to purchase this trailer. I do enjoy doing the Angus cows because they do provide a little bit of money in between our big paydays, and it is really nice because it helps out with like purchasing straw and stuff. But they're becoming so much of a problem with just how many dairy cows we have, and I want to sell our dairy cows, like I want to, not sell all of them, but to like lessen how many we have. But the problem is, out of all of our cows, now I haven't checked in about 6 to 9 months, but the last I checked, I believe it was last fall. Only about maybe 20% of the total amount of cows that we have actually produce milk. The rest are all too young to actually be producing milk. We just, for whatever reason, have a lot of calves and not a lot of actual cows. So, not to mention, like, the generations are kind of messed up. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't want to sell adult cows without having the calves to replace them eventually. And I know it's kind of counterintuitive to what I just, or not counterintuitive, uh, counteracts what I just said with the we us having more calves than we do cows, but it's legitimately like an issue, and I'm hoping that getting rid of our uh, beef cows will lessen the amount of feed and straw that they will need because it's ridiculous. All right, so we'll see how many of these we need. So we only have 5 of those. So then we can take this bull. We only have one of those. So we're gonna leave these. We're leaving these because there's no more bulls, except for our Holstein bulls. So I'm hoping that we're gonna sell these heifers once they're of age and they're at a good value. Like we can see over there, about $1,100 for our value. Um, and we'll sell them. And then the same goes to these calves because they just gave birth earlier this month. So, we want them to be able to grow up to be at a point where it's worth selling them. Like it's not worth selling them right now. They are going to put a strain on our food, but we're getting rid of 30. Let's see, we just got rid of 27 or 26 plus 2 bulls, 28 plus 5. Oh shit, just took my front end off. Plus 5 other cows, so that puts us at 33. So we're getting rid of 33 out of the 160 head of cattle that we keep. I think it's 160. Alright, you know what? I don't really want to check it while I'm driving, but I can. I believe our turn's coming up. Yeah, it's right here. Let's not take this turn at a very high speed and almost hit the truck again. Alright, so if I go to animal dealer, cow barn, yeah, 106. So we had more than 168. I thought we were sitting around 160 because obviously I sell the adults as they age out. I think we normally get maybe 2 rounds of calves out of them. I probably should drop that back down to one. That's exactly why we're expanding because the ratio is 1 to 2 and not 1 to 1. I'll take a look at our animal dialogue here in a minute when we get up to the livestock market and see. We might be able to take some other of our dairy cows to market depending on their age. I think we sell at 36 months is when they actually start losing value. Like they're still producing milk, but they're starting to lose value, and I want to sell them when they're about to lose. I want them to get to the highest possible point before they start losing money. Keep them as long as possible and still generate a profit off of them. But of course, selling the cattle is nothing compared to how much we make off of our actual dairy production because we have the 2 dairy plants. We have the dairy plant south and the northern one. They are both overflowing with cheese and butter right now. Like I need to get over there and empty that. The only reason that we don't produce chocolate at those is because we do not have a decent way to get sugar. Um, it's difficult. So we could buy sugar, and I haven't really done the math. I did that a very, very long time ago on another farm that I worked on. Um, and I had purchased sugar and it worked out, but the sugar prices could be different here. It could be worth more, so it could be worth less. We really just don't know. All right, so let's take a look at we just want to look at cows. So this is 27 months, 25 months. So it looks like these aren't ready to sell yet. Of course, hold on. There's 26 calves here and 16 heifers. So that's what, 42 um, out of that 159 that are going to be sold soon. So I give them until about next year, and I'll probably sell all of them. These heifers probably won't need that long. They probably only need about I don't know, 6 months. Should be able to go this fall or this winter. The other ones are going to have to wait until the spring or summer. They're going to have to be at least a year old, so definitely maybe next fall. All right, so let's get back on the road. Hopefully that helps out with our feed issue because it is becoming quite the problem. Did not think having this many cows. So I think it's also something to do with the fact that that's a modded pasture. So when I mean modded pasture, that is the standard cow barn and pasture that you get when you use this map. You can place that pasture down and it doesn't carry that many cows. That pasture is only supposed to keep 50, and we obviously have 150, so there's quite the increase in there. Damn, I feel like I've ran over deer every time I've gone through there. Um, so I think that's part of the reason, and they just go through food so fast. Um, I've kept around 100 head of cattle before on that previous farm that I'd worked on. Um, it was two pastures on opposite sides of the farm, 50 in each, and they did perfectly fine. I had a very, very small hay field that I actually cut half the time for silage. I only maybe twice a year needed to buy silage from a silage farmer up north. So, oh shit, that's my bad. It's part of the problem with playing on controllers. My camera takes so long to move. All right. Getting a little bit speed coming through here. We need to get chickens again. I do miss keeping the chickens, even though we didn't need to do anything with them because if they have that silo over there, so I could fill that silo up in like the spring and I wouldn't have to touch it again until the fall. Very, very nice. Oh, pull up. Don't want to hit my tanker trailer. Still a bit too close to the tanker trailer. I just don't like how close I am. Probably could get rid of that straw bale shredder that's sitting right there, wasting space. There we go. It's good enough. It's just kind of sitting there right now. We haven't used it in over a year because we can't afford to shred bales. I would like to, but it really isn't necessary with how much milk. We just have so many cows that go through the straw so fast, and they produce a lot of milk. Like I feel like adding the straw puts even more strain on our resources because we need the straw for their feed, and then also we're just going to be producing more milk to the point that it becomes a problem. All right, so um, before we head out to the property, I want to run into the office real quick and take a look at the computer. Let's keep that AC inside. All right, so let's jump on the computer here and take a look at prices. I want to look at dairy prices. So we are in a really big slump right now. But next month it goes up pretty high, significantly higher, and the month after that. So September is the time to sell. If I can hold on until September, I'll be able to find out by tomorrow how much this increases if I'll be able to make it. Um, but if I can make it till tomorrow, so I'll be able to get a better price for it. Um, like as you can see, like our costs are kind of everywhere. So like, these are our construction costs. Um, vehicle running costs are a pretty big problem. Uh, property maintenance, production costs aren't too bad. What really be killing us is water costs. I don't know why we pay water costs. Um, it's something to do with our cow barn, but I don't understand why we can't pump water from our pond. The city just will not permit us to do that. So um, they just keep on telling us no, and it's kind of annoying. So let's head over to the property, and we're gonna see if I can get this cleaned up a little bit. Not bringing anything else because I don't really have room to bring anything else. I would like to bring our weed eater that I keep in the garage back there, but I can't. So the Humvee is still not home. It's still there. I'm not really stressing it being there. I don't really care, to be honest. Not that I don't care about the Humvee, but I'm not like stressing about getting it home. It's in decent condition. It doesn't run. It can sit there until I can get the tow truck again or rent a flatbed. It's very wide. I've already measured it. It will not fit on any of our trailers unless I bring the whole semi over there, and I'm not trying to back a semi back into that lot there. We're gonna park this on the road. So, um, we're gonna take right here. Actually, I should have gone straight there, but it doesn't matter. All these roads will lead to the same space anyway. It just is a matter of what's going to take longer to get there. All right, so let's go ahead and shut it down. So we're here. So I got the flashers on. We are going to be actually hold on real quick. Uh, there we go. Now I have the other flashers on as well on the trailer. So we're gonna go ahead and that's cool. It's got straps that go a long way. I didn't notice that. We're gonna go ahead and unload, starting with the skid steer. I said the skid steer. There we go. So this trailer can be a little difficult to get stuff on and off of. As you can see, the ramp doesn't really go all the way down. I think the trailer's messed up. Alright, next is the mower. So we're going to go ahead and turn the mower on here. I've never actually used this thing, so we're going to find out what it does. Oh, it just stalled. What's going on? Oh, the trailer's a little stuck. Alright, let me lift the tailgate and see if we can. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and see if it cuts. I don't know if it's going to be able to mulch these bushes. Oh, look at that. Perfect. I just want to mulch these bushes back, cut the property down a little bit. When I come to get the, when I come back to get the, the Humvee, when I come back and get this Humvee, we're going to also bring a trailer and we're going to see if we can haul these old ass trucks. I think there's one here and then there's one back here. And then once that's done, we can really start getting to work. I think I'm going to tear this barn down and might build something out here. I don't know. We've been trying to get a sheep barn. I don't know if it'll fit back here. We'd definitely have to do a lot of landscaping to get it to fit, but I think it would be worth it. So let's go ahead and let's get to work. here. Get off the fork. There you go. Alright, so it is getting to about 4:30, so we're running out of daylight. I just want to grab these last couple of logs and we're going to call it for the day. Just don't really have enough time. This is going to be a multi-day project. But to give y'all a quick little recap of what we did manage to get done. This log book a little bit for me. So we got this tree cut down. This tree cut down. Well, this tree was already cut down actually. So we cut down this one right here. We cut down this one right there, and we cut down this one right there. Already fully processed this one, and we've almost fully processed. Actually, no, we just finished fully processing this one. We threw the last log on just a minute ago. Still have to get back here to these ones. I just wanted to start working from the front back. So I wanted to start with those ones before I try to get back here. And then we can start really getting to work on everything back there. But next video, I think we're going to finish up all the landscaping here. We've already got a little bit of a log pile. I went and talked to the owner of this field, and he said that as long as I don't block off the main entrance to this field and I get the logs moved by winter, that I can stack logs along the side of the road on his property. So as long as the city doesn't come by and complain that I'm technically in their land, because they technically have rights to, I believe, 5 feet to each side of the road. So pretty much to this tree line, and I'm technically in it. So as long as they don't come by and say anything, then we should be all good. If they do find him, then obviously I'll take care of the fine. So let's finish stacking up these logs, and I'm gonna actually leave some of this equipment here. I have really no use for the skid steer. The guy that I borrowed the landscaping trailer and his lawnmower, he's not going to be back in town for another 3 weeks, so we've got that for a while. So we'll actually, once we get this pulled, this little area cleared out, we'll actually pull the trailer in here, and we'll leave the trailer here in the stump grinder. I gotta unload the stump grinder actually. This log fork has been giving me nothing but issues. There we go. It's nice being able to move these big pieces without having to, cut them up into a million little smaller ones, because that is very annoying. I think we just have one more log to move out the way, and then we'll be able to pull the truck in. It already looks a million times better without all these bushes blocking the entrance. I'm surprised to see there's actually a dirt road there. Also, something that I totally forgot, and I don't know if you guys noticed, on top of the new little entranceway we got at the farm, I actually was able to, it gave me a really great deal, the same guy who did it, on gravel. So we actually now have the whole entrance to the farm gravel. Oh no! Oh, I hope I didn't just mess up his lawnmower. This one's going to be definitely the most difficult one to move because the fork's just not big enough. Open the claw a little bit. I want it all the way as far back. Looks like we got it on. Should be a little careful. Don't want to brake too fast, or else I have a feeling that this thing is just going to tip forward. Oh, it fell. God damn, this claw has been annoying me all day. And for whatever reason, I just can't get the logs to actually go into the back. See, like, I can't get them to slide all the way back into the fork. If I can get them to slide back into the fork and I can actually close the claw in front, onto the log, it'd be fine, but the two logs just refuse to go up the fork. It's very annoying. Alright, so it looks like that is it. So let's go ahead and drive back up here. Obviously, we still have more of those logs to clear out, but I'm not worrying about them today. Let's go ahead and open the barn door here. We'll go ahead and... There's actually a little bit of a concrete floor there. Drop that there, and then I'm going to park the skid steer here for a second. So we can go ahead and pull our truck in. Still kind of annoying to back into this because of this hill. We're going to go ahead and back into the side here with the trailer. I know I'm going to come back here anyway. The barn is big enough for the trailer, so we'll throw it back here. Put it as far back as I can. Try to keep it away from the road, because the last thing I want is somebody to be driving by and then decide they want to come up here and swipe the equipment on that thing. So we'll go ahead and turn the flashers off. And then let's unload the go ahead and unload our thing here. Oh, that hurt. Are you stuck? Are you seriously stuck right now? Lawnmower in. Park it in this bay right next to the Humvee. And that's got me stuck, but I'm confused. There we go. And there is our stump grinder off the better truck. Alright, we'll go ahead and park that there. Close these, we'll throw the padlock back on the door there, and we are all good to go. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Still have quite a lot of work to do back here on the property, but hopefully in the next couple of videos we'll have it fully restored. I'm still not entirely sure what we're going to build back here. It is pretty flat. It's got a slight slope, it looks like, from left to right here. But honestly, looks further back, it gets really flat. That's weird. Little dirt patch there. So might come back here and actually build our sheep barn. That's if Rihan still wants sheep. I know he was asking about it. That's our other farmer that works on the farm with me. He said he wanted to get sheep. So if he still wants them, I mean, this property's perfect for it. We have room for the equipment, room for food back here. So our property line actually goes all the way back to this rock wall. This little rock wall is where our property ends. And then I believe it goes quite a bit into the woods here. I want to say about to like right here. Ish. So like you can barely see the barn through the trees there. So that's about how large our property is here. So we do have quite a bit of room to build back here. It's just a matter of clearing the trees out of the way, which is as you've seen is a little bit of a challenge, but it's not impossible. My only concern is this tree that's somehow grown through the barn. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I don't know how to lock on this door because there's nothing in here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna cut on top and then come back down and then cut again and see if I can remove it before I have to rent an excavator, because the plan is I'm going to rent a excavator, come back here and just tear the building down with it, and then load the rubble into a truck. The problem is it's kind of a small area at the moment. Like I really don't want to remove this tree. I like this tree. But I think we might have to end up removing this tree. This one's definitely going to go. This one's definitely going. It's ugly. It puts all these leaves in the road here. So ideally, maybe I can get the truck over here in the bushes and do that. But regardless, we'll worry about that when we get there. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.